All right, and we are live. Welcome back with Murphy Mac to another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast, where we help you get started on your fitness journey. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, you got a day off of work and you enjoyed it. But we're right back to it with another episode this week. And today we have a special guest. We have Miss Danielle Forsgren. We're going to bring her onto the scene now so y'all can see her. So she is the president and co-founder of Avacen Medical. So they have some pretty cool devices or products that we're going to talk about in the podcast today. So I'll go ahead and let her introduce herself and a little bit more about her before we get started.
Hey, everybody, how are you? Thank you so much. This is very fun to be on, and congratulations on your work and getting people motivated to do better for themselves, right? And that's what we've been doing for 17 years. So, Avacen Medical is a 17-year-old company, and we promote wellness and longevity and also pain relief. So, my husband is the inventor. We have 17 worldwide patents, and we treat everything through the palm of the hand. So, think of us like acupuncture without the needles, and we specifically target microcirculation, and that you have head to toe. So, I'm honored to be helping people. We've had over 30 million treatments, not one advent reported, because it's basically dry heat and a vacuum and your body. So we kind of like are the jumper cables to start your body to help heal itself and reduce pain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never seen a product like this before, so I'm kind of
There is
excited.
nothing like it on the planet. So that's probably why. Yeah, there
Yeah,
is nothing like it.
I've never even heard of anything going through the palm of your hands. I've actually been reading a book about grounding or earthing, so I've been
Yes.
looking at some things
Do you know
going through your foot.
whose book it is?
Clint Ober. It's called
Okay.
Earthing. That's what
Okay.
it's called.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good book, and it was very enlightening about what you
It's
can
so
get
important.
through the earth. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually need to go do that. In fact, I should like go like right after this
Yeah,
conversation.
I'm trying to make it more of a thing to do because you don't realize it, but you never really, if you really think about it, you never really touch the earth ever because you always have shoes on or you're in
Right,
your house.
right. We moved into this house about 5 years ago, and I actually like to walk around barefoot in this house.
Mm.
It's really weird. I never did before, but this is a place I kind of really feel like I need to walk barefoot. But it's really important to not only do some of that grounding, but also sunlight.
Hmm.
We don't spend any time in the sun anymore, and that's why we're all vitamin K deficient. So if Avacen, if we can help you get on this journey of just thinking about doing better for yourself, and it's really, really easy to use. It's literally push a button. Well, after you plug it in, push a button, put a mitt on your hand, and sit there, and you can meditate, or you can do deep breathing, or you can do what I do, and I'm like watching Netflix with my newest Netflix binge. Um, it's think of it like acupuncture without the needles, and the Chinese from millennia have used the hands as well as the feet as a touch point for healing. That's where you have a lot of different radiuses for healing. So Tom Muehlbauer, the inventor, figured out that if he could open something called the arterial venous anastomosis, it's your body's radiators, you have them on your hands and your feet, we can use that as a portal to jumpstart your microcirculation. And so we don't use the feet because a lot of people who have pain, they say that 80% of us over the age of 40 have compromised microcirculation. And that's kind of when you wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, I don't remember working out this hard. Why am I hurting? That's when the aches and pains start. That's when the inflammation builds. And that is what we're trying to reverse. And so we use the hands because the gravity will not pull up that microcirculation for a lot of older people. And what happens is you use this your AVAs, and then in about 8 minutes we thin out the blood by less than 10%. And when we do that, your body kicks in and goes, wow, this feels really good, and I haven't felt like this since I was 20. So it starts giving you better circulation, so more oxygen and nutrients. And when it does that, that's when things start to get better and we can reverse what's happening to you.
So how did this idea come to life? Like what
Right?
inspired the
Okay.
creation of this
I know,
device?
because it's kind of wacky and everyone's like, it looks like a, do I have one here? Of course not.
I,
So,
I I'm looking at it on the screen over here,
yeah,
but I know
right.
people
Okay.
can't
So,
see it.
um, Tom was working at Stanford with some scientists that were doing thermoregulation, and they had a device for their football team that was a cooling device. So if you watch a Stanford football game or their tennis team, you'll see these weird looking devices on the sidelines. That's actually their device. So my older sister, who had 25 years of migraines, she had 20 to 25 a month. So she lived in a
Wow.
dark room on it. Yeah, it was brutal. She didn't have a life. She was on a lot of medication. She lived in a dark room, not eating. It was really hard. And we were always trying to find something that would help her and get rid of a pain med if we could. And her husband was a doctor, so he was very Western in his thinking. So it was a bit of a struggle until he heard Tom say, "Well, I'm working with Stanford," and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" So we actually brought this device in, and she was on day 3 of a migraine, and I'd never seen her with a migraine because we weren't allowed to be anywhere near her. I couldn't even talk to her on the phone. So she came out of the bedroom, and she looked like the Walking Dead. She looked so bad. We put her hand in this prototype and we had no protocol. We had no idea, but we figured, he's a doctor. God forbid something happens, something will work, right? So we put her hand in, and about 9 minutes in, she went from ashen gray to pink. And we're like, okay, something happened, and we still didn't have any idea what we were doing. It took quite a while, excuse me, to figure out that we were doing a biohack is what we were doing. We were hacking your circulatory system to give your body more oxygen and nutrients. If you use it at least twice a day, morning and night, we actually will help get rid of the inflammation. We'll start turning that clock back. So it took about a month and a half of her protocol. So she was always really cold. I don't know if you know anybody with migraines, but a lot of the time it's women, and a lot of the time they're cold all the time because their body's trying to fight with thermoregulation, and their body's trying to heal itself and raise the body core temperature, but their body just won't let it happen, right? And that's what creates some migraines. So we figured out, well, let's just do this protocol. Do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes at night when your body is at its lowest body core temperature, and see what happens. And lo and behold, we got rid of a little bit of her migraine, and she could eat, and she didn't have to take any pills that night. And then a month and a half later, she had no more migraines ever, ever. So we thought we were going to cure the world of migraines. And our attorney said, well, yeah, that's awesome, but have you met the FDA? And we're like, what's the FDA? I mean, we were so green. We thought we were just going to go and cure everybody, right? And they're like, yeah, you got to talk to the FDA. And it took us a good 3 years and about $6 million to get through the FDA. So we are currently cleared by the FDA for aches, pains, strains, overall muscular relaxation, and arthritis.
So what was Stanford doing with this machine? So obviously they knew something there before y'all
Well,
did. So what,
yeah,
what were they doing
they
with it?
had their device. Like I said, they built this device for their football team. So halfway through the game, these guys would go and put their hand in a machine. It was completely different looking from ours, and it would cool them from the inside out, so they weren't overheated, so they could go kick ass and finish and win the game. Because only Stanford can, spend millions of dollars on a football team for a little for their deal, right? So that was their secret weapon. And Tom was working with them, and then he told them, "Hey, I want to work on migraines and heat." And they said, "Oh, Tom, don't be stupid. Everybody knows migraines don't like heat." Well, guess what? They need heat. They need heat to start warming people up. So he went off on his own, and that's kind of how this journey started. We had no idea that it was going to be this journey. because it's a lot of education that goes along with this. Because when I tell you to put your hand in this thing that looks like a bread box, and you're like, you're out of your mind, right? So, but for athletes, it is spectacular because it helps them with recovery. We have currently the San Diego Sockers. They're an indoor MSL team. Is it ML, MS, MLS,
I think
MSL?
it's MLS, Major League Soccer.
That's it. Thank you. So you can
Yeah.
tell I'm such a athletic kind of advocate, right? So I love watching them. They have 10 of our devices. And so they were using our devices for recovery, because when you use our device after you work out, we help repair those micro tears. And so you can get back out there and you can perform better, and especially after workouts. And also, we're the only device that we know for athletes that you can use our device and it doesn't burn any calories. So that's interesting for athletes as well, especially for our Olympians.
So what exactly is happening while you're using this? Like
Good
how exactly
question.
is it working?
Okay, so it's basically dry heat, a vacuum, and you. So we put your hand in the device and we enclose you with a vacuum. And the reason why you need that vacuum is to open up these AVAs. So they'll open up, but your body's really smart, and your body will shut down if there's too much heat or too much cold. So what Tom did, and that's the body hack, it's kind of the biohack. So what Tom did is he opens up these AVAs, keeps them open and distended, so these capillaries look like open and nice, so this heat can go through. And then in about 8 minutes, we thin out the blood by less than 10%. And when we do that, your hypothalamus kicks in and goes, oh, this is nice. What is this? But I'm just going with it. So then it's going to give you more circulation. And when you have more circulation, you're going to have more oxygen and nutrients. And then they can start getting rid of toxins and also inflammation. And we do this on your 13,000 miles of capillaries, head to toe. So even through the blood-brain barrier, we can work.
So does it work kind of similar to a sauna?
Yeah, it's
Is
like
there
a
any
sauna.
similarities there?
Exactly. It's like a sauna from the inside out. Exactly. So without getting all hot and sweaty, and for me having to redo my hair and makeup, which I'm not going to do, I would just put my hand in the Avacen, and 20 to 30 minutes later, I've had a sauna treatment.
So when you use it, can you feel the heat? Can you feel, is it very
It,
hot?
no, no, it's not really hot. It's just like sitting in a jacuzzi or putting your hand on a heating pad. And if it's too hot, we have different levels. So we have low, medium, and high. Because some people that have compromised microcirculation are going to go, oh, that's really hot. So we'll let you turn it down and work yourself up to the high.
But you can feel your body kind of warm up as you're using it.
Well, you're not. Okay, so here's the trick. We have to make sure that you do not engage the sweat. Because if you engage the sweat with your sweat glands, then that means everything goes out of your body. We need to keep the circulation internal. So that took a long time too. We needed to raise your body core temperature just to that point before we engage your sweat glands. And
That's
there's
interesting.
about, yeah, and there's about 4,000 firmware instructions in there monitoring your body, the calibration, the weight of your hand. If you push down too hard, it's going to vasoconstrict. If you lift up too much, you're not going to get the treatment. So it's a really, really smart machine.
So I know you mentioned you use it for athletes. Is
Yes.
athletes kind of your target market for this device,
Not
or
really. We're just kind of exploring that, because a lot of our professional athletes that have them do not want to share what they have. So it's kind of their secret weapon. But I can tell you right off the bat, Chuck Liddell used it, loves it. His ex-wife Heidi, we actually had to give them two devices because they were fighting over it. They literally, he went on the Celebrity Big Brother, and he literally in the contract took the device with him. So all he did was work out, use the device, and then the device makes you fall asleep and relax. So he would sleep. So he was the first guy to get kicked out because he wasn't playing the game. So the Machados use it, Boss Rutan. We have some, I said the San Diego Sockers are using it. We've got a lot of other athletes that use it, but you won't really know who they are.
Do you
You'll know
do
who they
both
are, but they
hands?
don't tell you. Hmm?
Do you put both hands in it at once, or
No,
you just
just
do one
one.
hand? One
No,
hand.
that's a great question. You ask really great questions. So the cool thing about it, you use one hand and we're systemic. So that's the cool thing. You don't have to switch hands for the treatment. We like to say do your left hand in the daytime, left at light, right at night, because we want you to open up that lymphatic in the morning. And that took us a while to figure that out too. It's a journey.
And so you're saying use it after, like post workout or post
Well,
game exercise.
I actually, when I go do Pilates, I use it for 20 minutes before because I am relaxing all my muscles before I get on the reformer. And then I'll use it for a half an hour after I work out because that will help heal all those micro tears. So I can go back the next day and do more Pilates if I want instead of having to wait every other day.
So has there been any clinical studies or
Yes.
user trials on this?
Oh, yeah, lots of clinical studies because, it's very exceptional and different. So, our first clinical study that we did was at the VA in La Jolla, California, with UCSD. And they asked us to do a study on fibromyalgia because they didn't know how to help their vets. So, we did a 30-day study. And the incredible thing was these people that used it for like 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, twice a day, they got rid of their pain reduction by over 40%. And your basic drugs out there, their pain reduction is less than, ready, 2%. And they got through the FDA. So we're 20 times more powerful without all of the side effects. And when you use our device, it's nothing but side benefits. And then we've done some studies on type 2 diabetes because if you do the device for 30 minutes after, now we're not cleared for that. We're working on it, but we're not cleared for that one. And we're not cleared for fibro either. They will never probably clear us for fibro, but in the EU we are. Um, so for type 2 diabetes, if you use our device for 30 minutes after your main meal, we will lower the sugars substantially. And we have that. And we have plantar fasciitis. And we're doing some work with sickle cell right now because we're helping those people. And they have absolutely nothing to help them. We do a lot of wound care. We have saved a lot of limbs, including my mother in law's leg, or actually her foot. We're working on our wound care as our next clinical study because with type 2 diabetes and the problems with amputations and everything, that's our next one. And we're currently helping our veterans. That's my biggest push right now. Um, we are on the GSA schedule for veterans, and the VA will gift one of our devices for veterans who have doctors at the VA that are having issues with PTS, with pain, and with sleep issues. And so that's a big problem because we're trying to stop those suicides from occurring right now. So that's my main focus.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds very similar to grounding. It's just applicable because
Kind
that's what
of.
yeah, it sounds
I
very,
mean, it all kind of fits in together,
yeah.
right?
I think it all comes from the reducing of inflammation is what it's kind
It's
of
all about
sounding.
that.
Hmm.
Seriously. And when we started 17 years ago, when someone said to us, I think you're creating microcirculation in the body, we're like, what the hell is that? Because nobody knew what that really was and no one talked about it. And we actually went to the Microcirculation Institute in Amsterdam and did a study. And that was amazing because all they do is study microcirculation, which at that time no one really spoke about. So, every day is a new day and we just keep trudging on and we're helping people. And we've had 30 million treatments and about 13,000 devices out there. And we're just trying to keep people basically healthy because if you can tap in to your microcirculation and get rid of inflammation, you've kind of found the holy grail for longevity. And I want to be the person that's 99 years old running around Tuscany having a great time. I don't want to be in assisted living. I that's not my that's, I don't want that to be my journey, and I think most people are of the same mind.
So would you say this device, is it more for preventing things to happen in the future, or is it kind of to treat pain? Like somebody with chronic pain, would they want to use this
Absolutely should
to
have
help
one.
with pain?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It gets you off your pain meds most of the time. I mean, even for post op, I've had pictures of people that had like 3 discs replaced, and they've got the Avacen in the hospital because we're cleared to go in a hospital. Although we're not in a lot of hospitals. The people will usually take them in there. Um, no pain meds, and the doctors are like, "How is it that I just did surgery on you and you're not taking any pain meds?" And that's on an individual basis. During COVID, we kept people out of the hospital, including myself. This is just not a device for someone who works out or someone who's in pain. This is a wellness device for the whole family. And that's the cool thing. I've got 4-year-olds on the spectrum using this device. We did a 1.5 year study with kids that are on the autism spectrum, and we had incredible results with them. We're still doing all that data because you can imagine a 1.5 years has a lot of data. Um, and it's just there's so many things that we could do that we just have to really concentrate one thing at a time. But if you want to live a healthy life, if you have issues and you want to see if you can turn back that clock and help those issues, this is the device. If you have sleep problems, um, if you if you're an extreme athlete and want to have like the secret weapon, basically someone asked me, well, who needs this device? And I say, well, everyone over the age of 40 who has blood needs the Avacen.
So what do you think is keeping people from catching on to this? Like what's holding
Well,
people
we're
back
a
from
small
making it?
company. I don't have a huge budget to be on
Mhm.
television. I could go on Shark Tank. We've been asked 5 times, but I'm not going to do that because we're not a gadget. We're actually a medical device. I have an affiliate base, and so I've got about 700 of those. And a lot of people, a lot of people know about the Avacen in the longevity wellness area, and now that we're breaking into more fitness, I think more people will know.
Do you Would you like to get this in the hands of individuals, or are you trying to
We're
persuade
doing
like
the
doctors or?
Yeah, well, the majority, 85% is consumer,
Mhm.
and 15% right now is practitioners. But they're taught a certain thing. Like, we're a very pill centric. We're the U.S. We
Mhm.
have more pills than whatever. We 85% of us don't want to be on the pills, but that's what we're given. We're trying to reverse that. We're with a group of about 100 different devices worldwide, and we are asked every year to come back to this one place where we are literally trying to change the US in their thought process to put down the pills and try other alternatives. Um, I was just I did something called Biohack Yourself. It's on Amazon, and they just released our segment. And so this weekend I was able to see exactly what that looks like. And I'm with people like Dave Asprey, Dr. Amen. These, Dave Asprey says he's the, godfather of biohacking, and he's been doing this for a long time. All of these groups of individuals were a very small community, but a mighty community. And people just need to be educated on alternatives. Like you're reading about grounding. Grounding's been going on for millennia, and you're
Mhm.
just now finding out about it. And it's very intriguing. There's so many things out there that other people can look at other than reaching for that pill. And that's what we're kind of trying to stop.
Yeah, I've been on the biohacking trend lately. I've been doing a lot of research and things. I'm listening
Absolutely.
to Andrew Huberman and stuff with all the ice baths and things like that. So I've been
Yeah,
experimenting a little bit
yeah,
myself.
I'm more of a heat girl. Not
Yeah,
really
the,
more of a,
the ice baths are tough for sure.
I'm never going to sit in an ice bath. Just not going to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of the pills, I agree with you. I can't stand the way they just throw pills at things nowadays. To me, a pill is just a band aid. It's just covering up the
That's just it.
symptom. It's
It is,
not actually fixing the problem.
it
There's a
is not
problem.
doing that at all. It
Yeah,
is literally
exactly.
take this. We're unfortunately a pill popping society and we want everything done in 20 minutes, right? That's not
Hmm.
what it's going to be. Go out and walk, eat some fruits and vegetables, and use your Avacen and watch what happens. That is what we're going to do. Stop eating the fast food, get off the couch, stop eating the Cheetos. Sorry, I do like Cheetos though. But don't do it. Get out and there and go walk on the beach, go walk in the earth, go sit in the sun, go out and just do things and get off the couch, that and get off your phone. This is the one. This is killing us because the other cool thing that the Avacen does is it creates parasympathetic. So sympathetic is fight or flight, and the parasympathetic is rest, restore, and relax. And because the Avacen helps with overall muscular relaxation, we're engaging the parasympathetic. 2,000 years ago, we had two events a day when we were hunting for food, if we were running because we didn't want to be food. Those were the two main events. Now we have 100 different events in 24 hours because we can't put this down. It's pretty
Yeah,
simple.
I'm guilty of the
We
phone
all
as
are,
well.
man. I'm like the queen of TikTok. I have
Oh yeah,
28,000 followers. I have no why. I don't know why because I just post random stuff. And I'm like on TikTok the whole time, usually with my hand in the Avacen though. So that's the way I do my TikTok.
yeah. They've definitely figured out how to make it addicting for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. Now I'm shopping on TikTok. I'm like, okay, that's just stupid. It's one of those things. They just make it so easy to push a button, right?
Yeah. But I think we are. You're talking about people getting up off the couch. I think people are finally starting to open their eyes a little bit and finally starting to realize, hey, we're not doing ourselves any good here. We're just hurting ourselves. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like speaking of social media, I see tons and tons of people now talking about, just getting up, being active every day, not doing anything crazy.
No, just go for a walk.
Yeah, just getting up, moving your body, getting sunlight, like you're talking about. Grounding, eating better. Just I think there's more awareness about it now. Like for a long time, I feel like people didn't realize that they were essentially killing themselves in figurative, not figuratively, but essentially. But now
Right.
people are starting
No,
to
I
wake up
think
a little
you're
bit.
absolutely correct. I think when we were during COVID lockdown, when we had to isolate, and humans were not isolationists, we needed to be by people. I think I think when that occurred, I think people started to. Well, here's the deal: during COVID, we couldn't get to a doctor, we couldn't get to a hospital, right? So guess what? We had to figure it out for ourselves, and our sales rose like crazy because people figured out what the Avacen was doing. And a lot of my physicians say the Avacen is like having a doctor in your home because when you're getting rid of that inflammation and getting that microcirculation, basically your body wants to heal itself. We are giving it a chance to heal itself. And I think that's what people realized. So we actually lowered our prices during COVID because we wanted more people to have to be able to afford it, because at the time it was 4,000, and that's a big chunk for your average American family. Um, and so we actually lowered our prices by $1,000, which hurt us. But this for us, it's more of a mission, um, because we are really trying to help people, and that's all always in the back of our mind.
So you said it's at 3,000 currently. That's how much it's cost.
Our generation two is a little under 3,000, 3,000. Yeah, our
Is that
second one is 44.
is that HSA approved?
Um, some of it, yes, but it's not approved for Medicare or anything like that. I mean, I'm just happy I could get it into the hands of veterans.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, you can use your HSA card. Um, is very helpful. And then we also use bread and Klarna, which is also helpful for people. So that's a good one too.
That's just the financing option, right?
That's the financing. Yeah.
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 So when you're using the device, is it something you can is like do you feel relief instantly or does it kind of build up over
It
time with
depends how in
repeated use?
tune you are. I mean, I've seen a woman who had Raynaud's, which is when you can't feel your fingertips because you have a lack of microcirculation on your fingers. And a lot of people who are older have it, but this was a younger girl. So I was like, that's interesting. And your fingertips are white. In 20 minutes, she started crying. And I'm like, oh God, what happened? What's going on? Because that's what you think. You go, oh my God, what's happening? We've never had an issue before. She goes, no, you don't understand. I can feel my fingers in 20 minutes. Now, that's not everybody. It depends on your body. It depends on how broken are you? Are you in tune? A lot of people just feel very relaxed when they use our device. It's like we engage that parasympathetic. It's like your body takes a big old breath and releases. A lot of people fall asleep while they're doing their treatment. It's amazing. I saw a man who had 3 years of a headache and he was on so many pain meds. His wife was going to leave him because he was just awful on the pain meds. In 10 minutes, he started crying. And here again, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And he said, no, you don't understand. I've had a headache for 3 years and it's gone. And that was 10 minutes because we just opened up those vessels that he needed to open up.
And you haven't seen any other side effects or
No,
conditions.
there's not no what we call no adverse events reported because it's basically dry heat, a vacuum, and you. So it's really safe. I have pregnant women using it. We have the most beautiful, healthy, gorgeous, smart babies. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, including Tom's grandchildren, great grandchildren. So, I mean, it's incredible because we're giving oxygen and nutrients to the mother and the baby.
Is there any condition that someone may have that you would advise not to use the device?
So, here's what we say. If you can do a moderate walk for half an hour, you can use the Avacen. So pacemakers are cool, heart valves, anything. I mean, most people come who know about the Avacen for post-op, they'll come out of recovery and put their hand right in there and start using it.
So, how do you see this technology evolving in the next 5 to 10 years or so?
Well, we're working on a couple things. Um, we just want the opportunity to get the device out to more countries, and we're working with. In fact, I was on a phone call at 8 o'clock this morning for the Middle East. The more people that we can help and the more partnerships. So this year I'm working on more collaborations. I'm doing less shows. I used to do a bunch of shows every year. I'm doing less of that. I'm doing more podcasts. So thank you very much, and more collaborations with other companies. We're getting together like Brain Tap. I don't know if you've heard of that. Dr. Patrick Porter has an epic device that does like calming and meditation, and you use that with the Avacen. Also, hyperbaric. If you do the Avacen before a hyperbaric treatment, we make everything more bioavailable. Even if you take a vitamin and do the Avacen or water, we make it more bioavailable because we're opening up all those channels and we're delivering it to where it needs to go. So I'm doing more collaborations with other companies because the stronger we are together, the more we can help people and the faster we can do it.
So, really, just making more people aware of
Yep.
the technology and trying to get it
All I
out there
do all
more.
day is education because
Mhm.
it's not the sexiest looking thing you've ever seen, but man, it works. And I'm going to be 66 in a couple months. I don't feel it. I don't think I look it. And I'm going to be around for a long, long time. And that is the plan.
I think this is one of those devices that people are going to have to use it themselves before they
You
really
have
make
to
up their mind on it.
experience it. Yes. And
Yeah.
guess what? We have a 30-day money back guarantee just for that reason because we want you to experience it. It's a big
Mhm.
bite to buy it. We want you to experience it, but I'll tell you what, we have less than 1% that turns it because once you use it, you kind of get addicted. And it's a good kind of addiction.
Yeah, I think this is something that we definitely need in like hospitals and doctors'
We
offices
do.
and physical therapy, and I think that'll really open people's
Yeah.
minds up as well. If they get to use it for themselves there, then they
Yeah.
may think of purchasing one. But also, if you can get doctors and physical
And
therapists
that's
and to
just,
back you on it.
we have to reset the mindset of physicians. So
Mhm.
chiropractors love us, naturopaths, osteopaths, um, wound care, they love us. Other biohackers love us. But what we have to do is help educate our MDs because they probably have about a paragraph in their studies on what microcirculation really is. When we tell them the mechanism of action, they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But that's not something they think of because they're just trained to push pills. They have 10 minutes to be with you. When you go to a doctor, they give you 10 minutes. That's it. You can't do much in 10 minutes, and you better know exactly what you're in there for because, it's hard to get in there. So, my deal is I don't really want to go see my doctor. And luckily enough, knock on wood, I don't really have to because I've got my Avacen.
So you speak a lot about microcirculation. So
Mhm.
explain exactly what that is.
So, microcirculation. So, you've got your veins and your arteries, right? And those are the big things in your body. And also you can go on our website and we've got a fantastic video on how the Avacen works. So microcirculation is those little tiny capillaries. They're like little tiny tree roots, 15,000 miles head to toe. It's the delivery for the blood system. So what happens is when we're born, we have all of these little capillaries and they look like tree roots and they're all perfused with blood and everything is moving. But the older you get, the worse your microcirculation gets because we basically don't do what we're supposed to do. We don't eat right. We don't exercise. So the blood isn't being able to be pushed where it needs to go. And so what the Avacen does, it opens up those capillaries. It delivers the blood. So think of the blood and the capillaries like a snake skin, right? So the snake skin, when it sheds, is basically empty. Those are your capillaries. And have you ever heard of someone say, "Oh yeah, Grandpa Joe, he passed because everything just stopped working." Well, the everything that stopped working is your blood flow. It couldn't get to where it needs to go. It couldn't get to your toes. It couldn't get to your brain. That's what the Avacen is doing. It is pushing the blood where it needs to go. It's giving you blood perfusion. And that's basically microcirculation. And you have it head to toe and you need it.
That makes sense. I was trying to wrap my head around exactly
I
like
know it's a
how it's
lot.
working.
It is a
Like,
lot.
so I'm trying to. Is there any other devices that you know of
Nope.
that's similar to these?
No, there's nothing like us on the planet. There really isn't. I can
And
say
you
that.
said y'all own the patent to it, so
17 worldwide patents.
and they're all in that one device, all
Yep.
17 of those patents.
Yep.
Wow. Is there so you specifically in your personal life, do you use any other kind of medical devices that you think are good for your health that could help anybody else? Like we talked
Um,
about grounding
Good
or
question. Yeah, I go walk on the beach. I drink a lot of water. I have a protocol in the morning. I get up. I make myself lemon water that's hot. I drink a cup of tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm half English, so I'm a tea drinker. Um, and then I do my Avacen for 40 minutes in the morning. Half an hour after I eat my dinner, I do my Avacen because it's helping reduce the sugars. And I don't want to be one of those statistics of type 2 diabetes, right? And then at night when I'm watching TV, I do like an hour. So I'm doing personally 2 hours a day. I also like to use red light and I also like to use brain tap. I hang upside down. You can kind of see behind me. I got an inversion thing and I like to do that because that helps, my spine align. Pilates when I can. I'm kind of a busy girl, so I should be doing my Pilates more. And I get out and take my dog for a walk, or we'll go and I'll hit balls on the pickleball, and she'll run and chase them, and I'll be running and chasing the balls after her. So I'm just trying to stay active.
Yeah, I like that. You don't do anything above and beyond that people think fitness people do. You're just going, like you said, going for a walk, playing with your dog,
I think you just have
doing
to
the
move.
little things. Yeah.
Sedentary doesn't work. I hate sitting at the office. I'm not really an office girl. I'm always getting up. If someone asks me a question, I don't yell from my office. I get up and I walk there, because the more I can get up and walk, the better. Best thing I ever did was get my little girl Gigi, who's a golden doodle, and she is really active. She comes to the office with me. We call her our chief relaxation officer because she keeps everybody really happy. And so I do multiple walks with her 4 or 5 times during the day. I'm happy to do it. Um, I just try to stay active. I've never been a runner. I used to be in the theater, so I used to dance a lot in the theater, sing and dance, musical theater. So I have that training. And I'm more of like a Pilates girl than a gym rat. I'm not really a gym person.
Hmm.
I never really wanted to get in the car and go somewhere. I'd rather go to a dance class or go to Pilates or just walk. I'm a walker.
Yeah, you got to experiment and figure out what you like. There's all kinds of different ways to
I
be
don't want it to
active.
be punishment. I don't think people want
Yeah.
activity to be punishment, or they won't do it.
Hmm.
You got to love what you do. I actually have a mirror, and so when I should be doing it a lot more, the Lululemon mirror, and I do that so I can plug in and I can do Latin dance, or I can do Pilates, or I can just do stretching. You know, try to do all of just mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I always encourage my listeners to try everything, try it all out, at least once, twice. Try it out, give it a chance, and see what you like, and then
Because then you'll
go
do
from
it.
there.
Repeat,
Yeah.
rinse and repeat, right?
Yeah, I'm personally a gym guy. I like going to the gym. That's my
Most
thing, but
guys
I
are
enjoy
gym
it.
guys. My nephews,
Yeah.
they're gym guys, right? Oh, I just went to. I'm like, that's nice. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to be that girl. I just am not. I don't want to get in a car and go somewhere. I'll get in a car and go to Pilates, but I don't want to. I don't really want to. And I have a bike at home too, so I'll sit and watch TV and ride the bike too.
Hmm. Yeah, there's so many different
It's great to
options
have
out there
choices,
nowadays.
isn't it? It's
Oh
really
yeah.
great to have choices.
And you mentioned sitting earlier, and I heard somebody say this, and I really liked what they said. I agree a lot. They said sitting is like the new cigarettes. It's
That's a
like
good one.
sitting is killing us
Yeah,
without us knowing it, because it's making you
yeah,
sedentary. You're not moving. You're not being active. And a lot of people that work desk jobs are sitting there for 8 to 12 hours a day,
it's
and
terrible.
it's not good for us at all. It's not good for our posture and literally everything.
No, everything. It's compressing our spine. It's stopping our
Hmm.
circulation. I mean, my husband works from home, and I tell him, get up and move. Set your phone 10 minutes and just walk for 10 minutes. And
Hmm.
then if I leave the dog at home because I have appointments, he'll take her for a walk, which is great. So at least I know he's walking around. And then he'll go out and putter around in the garden. And he's the inventor, so he's going to be 79, and I want him around for a long time. So, and the good news is he doesn't act it or feel it or look it. So that's because the Avacen keeps you young inside and out.
Yeah, when I started hearing about the sitting being so bad for us, I made sure to
So
get one of
bad.
those. I got one of those riser desks that goes
How do
up
you
and
like
down.
it?
I love it. I use it pretty much every day. I try to use it a lot more, but I I'll stand up for a little bit and then sit down for a little bit and then I don't stand up all day long. I'll go back and forth.
That's
Like
really not good for you either.
yeah.
Standing for a long time isn't great for you. You just kind of have to. I think everything in life is a balance, right?
Hmm.
So as long as you are doing some kind of walking or exercising and then eating some good stuff and then just taking care of yourself, it's finding the balance. And that's what I tell my nephews. They're 24. It's finding the balance, being good to yourself and finding the balance.
I think that's about all the questions I had about
They're
the
really good
Avacen.
ones. You did a great job. I mean, you've never used the Avacen, so you had really great questions. Thank you.
Yeah, I've never even heard of something like this, but I'm very curious now. I
It's
wish I kind of had
intriguing,
one to
isn't
try
it?
it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wish I had one. Uh, like as I told you, I've been going down the biohacking road. Like I've been
Oh
trying all
man,
kinds of stuff.
it's a rabbit hole like no other.
Yeah.
So you'll have to check out the Biohack Yourself on Amazon Prime. I think I'm on the fourth one, but there's five altogether, and it's the who's who in the biostacking world.
So
So
that's like a documentary on
it's a
Amazon.
documentary. Yeah, it came
Okay.
out December 25th of last year, and I've been waiting for ours very patiently. Not really. It finally came out this weekend, so I was able to see who else was in there with me. So Dave Asprey's in there. Dr. Assam is in there. It's just the who's who. And there's my friend Justin who talks about grounding, and he wrote a book. A lot of cool people. Dr. Fab Mancini, our new JFK, RFK Jr. is in there, um, talking about how we've been poisoning our kids for years with all of the crap they're putting in there. If nothing else, I hope he stops all of that. Because guess what? We're the only country that gives our kids cereal that has a bunch of junk in it. They don't allow it in
Mhm.
Europe. Why the hell are we allowing it here? So, got to
That's the
start
question
there.
we all want to know the answer to. We all been asking that
Guess what?
question.
We all know the answer to that, but let's just reverse it and stop it. And I think he's going to do it because he wants our kids to be healthy, and we do not have healthy kids at all. So my mission is also to help kids and our vets. That's it.
Yeah. The thing that's crazy to me is you literally have one company has the same exact product, but two totally different ingredients in the product.
Isn't
like you
it
said, a
that?
cereal brand. It'll be
So
the same exact cereal brand,
I can go to
same
Italy
cereal.
and I can eat wheat in Italy, but I can't eat the wheat here in the United States of America. Can't do it.
Hmm.
But I can go to Italy and eat anything I want. It's crazy. It's because everything's farm to table there, and we can do it here. It's going to take a little patience, but we can do it, and we're going to be so much better for it.
Yeah, definitely gonna have some growing pains with that one. But hey,
We
with
are,
anything
but you
good
know
comes
what?
growing pains.
We're going to be healthy, and that's at the end of the day, we want to be healthy because we want to be around. We don't want to have, they say 50% of us are going to have type 2 diabetes in by 2050, I think they said. And I'm like, that's the one thing you can reverse. You can reverse type 2 if you stop eating the Cheetos and get up and go take a walk. It's really simple. But will we do it? I don't know. That's the big question. Will we do it?
Yeah, I have a one of my predictions is I think we're gonna have a divide in like the technology and the non-technology people in the future. Like I think you're gonna have people that are against it and people that are for it. Because
Hmm.
I think it's gonna like I don't know. I feel like people are we're very connected nowadays because of the internet. Like we're more
Yes.
connected than ever. But I feel
Yes.
like we're gonna eventually get to
You
the
think
point to
there's
where
going to be a backlash of people going, I'm getting rid of this? It's not
yes,
going to happen. Not
we'll
going to happen
see.
for me anyway because all my business is on my phone. But
Yeah,
I actually dropped my phone last week, and for 2 days I didn't have a phone, and I was losing my mind. I'm just telling you,
I would
losing
do the
my
same
mind.
thing. I would
And
be
I
the same
thought,
way.
God's just telling me to put my phone down and stop using it so much and connect with my family, and that's exactly what I had to do because I had no phone. It was not good.
Well, is there anything I'm trying to think? Is there any other
Well,
things you would like to hit on real
I
quick?
just want to thank you for letting me come on and explain what the Avacen is, and really appreciate it. And because the more I can talk about it and educate, you asked some great questions. And when I'm ready to start my podcast, I'm going to let you know because I want to hear all about what you do. So, and what
Absolutely.
is other than grounding right now, what's your other form of exercise that you love to do?
Um, well, I've been into weightlifting for a
Mm-hmm.
long time now, for about 12 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy doing that, and I just recently got addicted to running. I don't know
Oh, wow.
how
Okay.
I got the run bug, but I've been running
Okay.
lately,
Yeah, I
and
haven't heard
I
that
like
for a
it.
while. Yeah, I never had that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
about 3 years ago, I started this thing where I started basically a bucket list of what I want to do.
Okay.
So I want to do one big challenge every year.
Good for
And
you.
the first challenge I did was an Ironman. So in 2023, I did an Ironman.
You
I
would have
did that.
loved the Avacen for that, man. You would have loved it.
Well, that's kind of where I started doing the ice baths. That's where I got the ice baths
Uh-huh.
from, doing that. And then 2024, I did a bodybuilding show. And then this year, I did a 100-mile ultra marathon. And that's when I kind of got the run bug. So
Wow, that's
now,
amazing. So
yeah,
what's
it
for
was.
next year?
I haven't decided yet. I have a few things on the list, but I'm gonna give myself time to kind of think about what I do. I have a few things I want to do, but we'll see. I hadn't decided just yet. It all depends on what I'm doing that year. So we have a big vacation planned in
Nice,
October, so I
nice.
can't. I kind of have to work around that.
Yeah, you do. I mean, vacations are important. That's uh, that's important. So I want to thank you for giving me the time to discuss the Avacen, and we will do a coupon. And if anyone wants to look into it, and remember, we have a 30-day money back guarantee, so it's a no-brainer. Once you start using it, like you're running, you get addicted, and
Hmm.
it's for the whole family. So 2 year olds to 102 year olds, everyone should be using it.
So what's the website exactly where everybody can find it? It's
Avacen.com, Avacen.com.
all right. And then is there anything else you want to? You said you got a big TikTok. You want to let everybody know your TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I should. Okay, thelegally.diva.com.
The
Legally
legally
Diva.
deep. I
The
like that.
Legally Diva. Yeah, you'll see Gigi on there. You'll see all sorts of crazy things and a lot of travel, a lot of food. And I'm still figuring it out. So, yeah, I started about almost 2 years ago, and it's just kind of fun. I saw my 8 year old second cousin in England doing it, and I'm like, I should just check that out. Looks like fun. Post some pictures of London. And here I am, 28,000 people later. Haven't figured out what to do with it. So it's a journey and it's kind of like a hobby.
You mentioned you were in entertainment, like theater. What exactly did you do?
Well, I'm fourth generation theater. So my mother, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and also my sister was in the theater. And my nephews, so they're fifth generation. And I was classically trained in opera as a young child. And then I went to musical theater because I kind of like doing singing, dancing, and acting, not just singing opera. I won a very prestigious award when I was 19. And then I traveled the world singing. So came back and settled in San Diego and then worked in the theater in San Diego for years. So, but now I'm Mrs. Avacen. So that's how it works.
It's a big transition from theater to kind of the medical side of things.
But the spokesperson part is okay. So when
Yeah.
I speak, it's easy for me, and like doing the documentaries and stuff like that, that's easy. And Tom doesn't really like to speak. He kind
Hmm.
of lets me do it because it's easy for me. And so I can take my theater on stage with me, so that's cool. I do miss
Yeah.
singing a little bit, but that's about all I have time for.
I'm jealous. I didn't get the artistic side of things. I definitely didn't get the dancing and the singing.
Oh,
Sometimes I
that's
wish I could.
not everybody needs to do it, but it is kind of fun. And I could have been an Egyptologist, but I was a theater girl. So it's when it's in your blood, you just kind of can't help it. It's genetics. It's so interesting.
Well, I just want to say thank you for coming on the
Thank you.
podcast. I
So
enjoyed learning all
appreciate
about
you.
the Avacen. That's pretty cool.
We'll see if we can figure out how to get you one so you can at least try it. It will help you with your workouts.
Absolutely. Yeah, let me know when you get your podcast up and going.
Oh man, you'll be one of the first to know because I'm going to ask you to be a guest because I want to know all about this bucket list of yours. Because
Oh
to me,
yeah.
it sounds like a really great journey and a really cool documentary. Something
It keeps me going, gives me something to work towards. So
I
I
think
like it.
everyone needs it. Everyone needs a challenge once in a while.
Well, all right. Thank you again. We'll end it
Thank
there,
you.
and y'all be
Thanks,
sure to
everybody.
thank you. Y'all be sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Fitness Beginner Podcast.